Good morning, students. Today our topic of discussion is pharynx. Why should we learn pharynx? Because pharynx is a common muscular tube lying behind nasal cavity, oral cavity and larynx. So it is a common passage for both food and air, and that's why it is necessary to learn about pharynx. Now pharynx can be learned under the headings of introduction, dimensions and location, boundaries and extent, subdivisions, pharyngeal wall with the muscles of pharynx, blood supply, nerve supply, lymphatic drainage and applied anatomy. Today we are going to consider only the first four part of the pharynx, that is the introduction, dimensions and location, boundaries and extent, and lastly the subdivisions. So, beginning with the introduction, as I said, it is a funnel-shaped fibromuscular tube which extends from the base of the skull to esophagus. It is a common path for air and food. If we come to the dimensions, it is approximately 12 to 14 centimeters in length, and at the base of the skull, it is approximately 3.5 centimeters wide, whereas at the end, near the junction with the esophagus, it is approximately 1.5 centimeters in width. It is located behind the cavities of nose, mouth and larynx. Therefore, it can be divided into three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. So, the part which is behind the nose, it is the nasopharynx. The part situated behind the oral cavity, it is the oropharynx, and the part lying behind the larynx, it is the laryngopharynx. So this is the schematic diagram of the sagittal section of our head and neck. So as you can see here, there are various bony features, there are various muscular features. So let us see which are the bony features first. So beginning from above, it is the body of the sphenoid, and as you have learned in the demo of the norma basalis, there is basiocciput on the base of the skull, which has got having a pharyngeal tubercle. So basically pharynx lies in front of the pharyngeal tubercle. Then going downwards, we have got the arch of the atlas, as there is no body of the atlas. Then the C2 vertebra, C3, C4, C5, C6 and C7. So if we see posteriorly, the pharynx, this is the pharynx. This part is called the part of the pharynx. So the pharynx extends from the base of the skull up to the lower border of C6 vertebra. Anteriorly if we see, then there are three nasal concas anteriorly in front of the upper part of the pharynx. In front of the middle part of the pharynx, we have got the hard palate. This is the soft palate, then the tongue and the free margin of epiglottis, and in the lowermost part on the anterior aspect there is the cricoid cartilage. So posteriorly we have got the sphenoid, arch of atlas and cervical vertebra C2 to C6. In front, in the upper part we have got the nasal concas with the nasal metatarsus, then the hard palate and the soft palate. Tongue, the part behind the tongue or relying the upper part of the larynx, that is the epiglottis, and the lowermost part of the larynx, that is the cricoid cartilage. In front of the vertebral column, as you all know, this blue line which I have shown here, it is the part of the prevertebral fascia. It is the prevertebral fascia. So the pharynx is lying in front of the prevertebral fascia, separated from it by a thin layer of loose areolar connective tissue. So this is the real sagittal section. So this is, we can say this is the nasal cavity part, where these are the concas, the middle and the inferior concha. So this part which is lying behind it, this is the part of the pharynx. Again this is the hard palate, this is the soft palate, this is the tongue, and here is the epiglottis. So this part is the part of the pharynx again, and then this part is the larynx, here this part. So this part which is lying behind the larynx, it is also a part of the pharynx. So in this section you can see that the pharynx is extending right. This is the body of the sphenoid and the part of the basic occiput. So that is extending from the basic occiput right up to the lowermost end of the cricoid cartilage, or that is the lowermost part of the laryngeal cartilages. So now coming to the boundaries, as you already seen, the superior boundary, it is formed by the base of the skull and the part of the basi-occiput which is in front of pharyngeal tubercle. Lower extent, it continues with the esophagus at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, or we can say at the level of C6, cervical 6th vertebral level. Anteriorly, it is communicating with the or continuing with the nasal cavity, oral cavity and also the laryngeal cavities. And posteriorly, it is lying over the prevertebral fascia, separated by only a loose areolar connective tissue. So that is about the anterior, posterior, superior and inferior, you can say, boundaries or the extent of the pharynx. Laterally, we know what are the structures lying on each side of our paravertebral region, that is the muscles, vessels, nerves and also the mandible in the upper part, the muscles of the mastication in the upper part. These all muscle things are the lateral boundaries of the pharynx. Coming to the subdivisions, as we know, as I already discussed, it is having the part which is lying behind the nasal cavity, it is the nasopharynx. The part which is lying behind the oral cavity, it is the oropharynx, and the part which is lying behind the larynx, it is called as the laryngopharynx. And there are two basic isthmuses. Isthmus means junction point. So there are two isthmuses within the pharynx, and one is the nasopharyngeal isthmus and another is the oropharyngeal isthmus. The oropharyngeal isthmus you have come across in the lecture of oral cavity. So if you want to see the divisions, the part here which is shadowed by green color, that is the nasopharynx. The part which is shadowed by the orange color, that is the oropharynx, and the part which is shadowed by the blue color, that is the laryngopharynx. So we have got the three divisions, that is the nasopharynx, the oropharynx and the laryngopharynx. And if we see the isthmuses, the junction point of the nasopharynx with the oropharynx lying between the free margin of the soft palate and the part of the first and the second cervical vertebra, that part is called as nasopharyngeal isthmus. This part is very much important because it is closed by the muscles of the larynx as well as the soft palate when we are going to swallow our food. How it is closed will be taken in the lecture of pharyngeal wall. And lastly, we have got the oropharyngeal isthmus, which you have already come across in the lecture of oral cavity, formed by the soft palate and the posterior palatopharyngeal fold and the upper part of also the base of the tongue. So that is the oropharyngeal isthmus. So if we see the cavity of the pharynx, it is having the nasopharyngeal isthmus and it is separated from the oral cavity by the oropharyngeal isthmus. There is no specific demarcation or there is isthmus located at the level of between the oropharynx and the laryngopharynx. So each nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx can be described under situation, extent and relation, communications, features, nerve supply, lining epithelium, function and applied anatomy. So these features we will be seeing in our next segment.